You ever have one of those nights where you look back and just have to laugh at the sheer absurdity of suburban life? Yeah, well, picture this. It's 2:30 in the morning. I'm standing in my backyard, heart pounding, slippers squeaking, facing down two wannabe enforcers in fake tactical vests, and the HOA president's golden boy son, all because they're trying to break into my pool. I know sounds like the start of a bad sitcom. But let me tell you, nothing about that night felt funny at the time. Let me back up a sec. This whole mess started as these things do, with some social climbing and a ladder I never asked to be on. See, in our little slice of suburbia, Northwood High's kingpin is Chad Brown, captain of the swim team, owner of a car that costs more than my first house, and proud son of Karen Brown, the HOA president herself. Karen runs the HOA with the kind of iron-fisted perfectionism she saves for her award-winning roses. Everything in its place, all the neighbors in lockstep, and Lord help the fool who puts up a garden gnome without written permission. So of course Chad decides the community pool. Our pool should be his own after-hours party spot. Trouble is, our pool gate's behind my house and the code is locked down tight. Now my son Marcus, he was the weak link. Chad figured. It started with a string of texts, Chad pressuring Marcus to be a real one, and leak the code threats of social exile if he didn't. Then came the meme's bad Photoshop jobs, my son's face pasted on some kid hiding behind his mommy. All very mature, you know. Marcus showed me the messages expecting me to blow up or call the school. But I just looked at him, told him straight. This isn't about you. This is about a kid who thinks bullying opens doors. I told him he did the right thing by saying no, and if Chad kept coming, we'd handle it together. Turns out handle it meant going up against a machine way bigger than just a punk kid. Chad turned the heat up at school, then he brought it home. Literally. One night I'm up late, fiddling with my smart lock logs. Yeah, I built the thing myself, little point of pride. And I see 14 failed access attempts in a row. Tamper alert. I checked the live feed, sure enough, 2 men in black vests at my gate with HOA compliance ironed on crooked. It'd be funny if it wasn't so damn unsettling. These guys aren't just bored teens. They move like they've done this before. One stocky shaved head. The other's all wiry nerves and twitchy eyes. They try codes, pry the faceplate, circle the fence with a flashlight. Then Chad shows up, red trunks towel full of that private school swagger. I'm watching the feed, logging every failed attempt, thinking, Karen really sent in the cavalry for a pool party. Eventually I have enough. An engineer can only observe for so long before he intervenes. I slip outside porch light, blaring behind me, and, well, it's almost comical the way their faces drop when they realize the homeowner is standing right there in a t-shirt and slippers. Can I help you, gentlemen? I ask, calm as you please. The big one puffs out his chest, flashes his fake badge, mandatory safety inspection. At 2:30 in the morning. Yeah, right. Just then Chad slinks out from behind the hedge. What's the matter, Mr. Thompson, afraid of a little safety check? It's all so ridiculous I nearly laugh. But then the broad-shouldered guy grabs my arm, says they need to check my interior pool access points. That's when instinct kicks in. I yank my arm back. Chad tries to shoulder bump me, except he forgets the deck's wet. Down he goes expensive sneakers and all scraping his elbow. Suddenly he's shrieking for 911, spinning this wild story about being assaulted in illegal locks. The cops are coming and I'm just standing there in the glow of the porch light thinking, this is what parenting in 2025 looks like. Cops arrive, Sergeant Daniels, steady as a rock, and Officer Tate, young but sharp. Karen materializes too, like she teleported in on a cloud of indignation, clutching Chad and wailing about unprovoked violence. Neighbors gather eyes wide, everyone waiting to see the local drama unfold. Daniels asks for my side. I don't argue, I just show him the receipts, camera footage, smart lock logs, every failed code, and pry attempt right down to the second. The deck cam even catches Chad shoving me before he slips. Tate nods, he gets it. Karen sputters, accuses me of doctoring evidence. Daniels just looks at her like he's seen this movie before. The officers check my gate. Any emergency egress blocked by this lock? No, sir, I say. Meets City Code, free exit, section 1008. The neighbors laugh. Joey's in his bathrobe, Mr. Goldstein muttering about popcorn. Daniels finally turns to the two enforcers, demands ID. Their authority shrinks to nothing. The only thing more fake than their patches is their confidence. Daniels says, "We're logging criminal trespass." False report goes to the DA. He turns to me, says, "You did everything right." That's it. One nightmare over, at least I thought so. Morning comes and the next attack isn't physical, it's bureaucratic. Karen whips up a mob of parents, spins a story about an unstable neighbor attacking her son. They march across the lawns waving coffee cups and cell phones ready for a fight. I don't engage, I just set up a TV in my garage, play the security footage on loop. The facts speak for themselves. One by one, the mob softens. Some parents apologize. Sarah Miles. The reasonable mom promises support if the school gets involved. Even Joey shows up with a bowl of cereal. Popcorn was corn adjacent, he jokes. The tension breaks, but the real storm's just starting. Because now the fines begin. Karen sends $500 notices for unapproved structural modification. My lock, unauthorized surveillance, my cameras, even my deck lights get flagged as non-compliant landscape illumination. It's war by paperwork. Most folks would have written the check just to make it stop. But I'm not most folks. I gather proof catalog, every fine, every clause, every procedural error. Turns out Karen never had board approval for fines over $250, and her contractors aren't even legit. Then Karen makes her fatal mistake. She sends a community-wide email claiming the board hired third-party security contractors for a perimeter audit. She tries to rewrite history but gives me exactly what I need, a paper trail. Because if these are contractors, there have to be invoices, payments, records. So I talked to Mr. Goldstein, our neighborhood's unofficial historian, and Stan the gate guard. Stan remembers Karen waving through a white SUV the night of the break-in. Plate starts with 4ZN. He jotted it down. No security company ever signed in no logs. Goldstein laughs. The only security we pay for is ADT at the clubhouse. But I need proof. That's where Arthur Fleming comes in. Quiet board member, always looks like he's swallowed a lemon at meetings. I meet him for coffee, promise no names. He slides over a thick envelope, bank statements, invoices, the works. And there it is. Payments to Suburban Oversight Solutions, LLC, started 2.5 months ago, $5,000 a month. Registered agent Karen Miller, Karen's maiden name. She created a shell company to funnel HOA money to herself and paid thugs to harass my kid. At the next HOA meeting, I show everything: videos, messages, bank records, the shell company's registration, even Karen's own words. The room erupts. Board members finally find their backbone void. My fines fire. Karen's contractors call for a full audit. Karen's left banging her gavel in a room that doesn't care. Her reign is over, burned down by the very people she tried to control. A month later, the audit's rolling. The pool is full of laughing kids again, and the only sign on the gate reads, "Be kind, be safe, have fun." Even Chad came by, mumbled an apology. He's off the swim team doing community service, learning consequences. And Marcus, he's just a kid again, fearless, smiling, cannonballing with friends. You know I never wanted this fight, but you can't let bullies, big or small, HOA or high school, push you around. Sometimes all it takes is patience, receipts, and showing your neighbors the truth with their own eyes. The green light on my smart lock blinks steady, a little promise that at least for tonight, all systems are nominal and my family is safe. But let me ask you this: where do you draw the line between protecting your home and causing trouble in your community? Would you have pushed back or just paid the fines and let it go? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear your HOA horror stories, your wins, your losses. And hey, if you've ever stood up to a bully, let's hear how it ended.